Are you resting
to the Gold Coast?
We're looking forward to them to coming over, yes. Yeah.
What do you made of their season?
Pardon?
What do you made of the Gold Coast season?
Yeah, they've been hit by a lot of injury, and they're rebuilding in a sense. They got all those mids in last year, so they lost a few players that they probably wanted to keep. So, but they're very talented, and they've won some good games, but they've been challenged with injury, and they're obviously transitioning again, building up, similar to us. So it's going to be a good challenge.
Ross, you've talked about some promising performances over the second part of the year, but do you really need a win this weekend?
No, we're always aiming to win, but yeah, we're not defined by results. As much as they're really feedback, we feel our footy's been very competitive. Been in a lot of tight games. I could reel them off, but I won't bore you with it. So, considering the amount of youth we're playing, first years, to go up to GWS and do what we did for 3 quarters is outstanding. And certainly, there's been games where some fundamental errors. Other than that, we're in front and with not much to go. So St Kilda were really good. Collingwood, we really fought back. Even Hawthorn, bar 2, kicked 4 goals late and jumps us at the start were quite strong. We've been really pleased. So we're always aiming to win, but we feel like we're making big inroads. We're banging games in the kids, and that's the plan.
Do you expect Gary Ross, do you expect Gary Ablett to make the trip?
I'm not sure. He's a great player. I was a bit asleep at the wheel. I didn't realise Witts had been nominated not to play, so we'll get that in due course. But it'd be a great experience for our kids to see and come up against greatness, because Gary's great. That's indisputable. He's a great player. So it'd be a great experience for our lads to mark him at some point in time.
Would you be surprised if he didn't come?
It's not something I thought about. I haven't tracked it.
Yeah, right.
I've just been internal. I heard the broad brush around that he's had a hammy and those sort of things. So nothing surprises me in AFL footy. I learnt that a long time ago.
What about Sean Darcy?
We're making noises about. We're going to have a look at it today.
Right.
He's really keen to play, but John Griffin's fit and available. That's how he hits his markers today. So if he was short on that, we would manage him. At some point, we've all acknowledged he needs to be managed, and this might be the week. We're hopeful it's not, but it might be.
You mentioned greatness with Gary. How much does it change your planning to a game if he plays or doesn't play?
I think we're in a position we're in. We have had some tags and Connor and some go. We haven't had them for the last few weeks. I think we're letting our boys go, and then if someone gets away, we'll send someone to tighten up. So. But I did make the comment, the more you tag him, the more he gets. So you actually have to try and spread off him and attack him a little bit, because he's great. He's great. I love him. So, I don't think we'll tag him. But, if he's... we'll deal with it when it comes.
Is it a good experience, though, for a young player? I mean, you're developing stage to run a young player with him to learn.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. Yeah, so... at some point we can get a Lockie Weller to him, he'll know he's alive. So, but Lockie's really capable himself, back him in, and he could get the ball and run and through. He's a beautiful kick. So yeah, they're the moments along the way that help. It's like Connor Blakely going the half back. It's really helped his development, really.
Speaking of Connor, Ross, what do you do to adjust with him out of the side now?
Yeah, it's a good point. We've got to have a look at it. We've got to bring someone in. So, we've got some experience down at Peel. There's not too many. We'd like to have a look at, but Taylor and Demand, but he's just coming back. Him and Tommy Sheridan come back available this week, so they've been out 3 to 4. Other than that, it's pretty much experience down there, and maybe a Ryan Nyhouse, so we need to look at that.
Connor's obviously a big loss for us. He's had a really good season for you.
Yeah, he's had a really good season. It's been a season of growth, 3rd year. You should really be looking to impact AFL games strongly in your 3rd year if you're going to make it as an AFL player, and he certainly started to do that. So, but out of necessity for his development, we've put him down back, and he sort of blossomed there. You'd probably say he's been better at half-back than he was midfield.
Your best and fairest count could be an interesting one, with Walters was having such a great season and then misses the last month and a bit, and now Blakely's out, who would have been a contender. Those type of players that can really finish off the year, who you're hoping will stand up and take responsibility for, say, a Walters and Blakely missing?
There's a bit in that. Yeah, while the best and fairest don't turn my attention too much too, but yeah, you're right. Best and fairest are great to win because it reflects consistency, and there's no better reward than a best and fairest in a premiership year. So, but it can discriminate if you miss too many games. So, yeah, we're expecting everyone to step up. I think Stephen Hill and Fife have got plenty of improvement in them. They wouldn't tick off their years to be perfect, so I think they can step up, in particular Stephen and Nathan. Would love Hayden Ballantyne to continue and improve. Michael Johnson can finish off the year strongly, so, and Joel Hamling's been good. So there's a number of them that can pick up that slack.
There's a lot of talk about Mitch McGovern at the moment and interest from Freo. Can you give us any insight from your point of view, what sort of interest there is?
Yeah, look, it's really difficult. I don't really deal in hypotheticals. I'd love Wayne Carey here, so there's plenty of names about it. It's not speculation and that. It's not appropriate. We're respectful of other clubs, but there's a speculation about Fife, so it goes on. But it's really not my role. It's certainly not an appropriate time. And with respect, I'm not in a position to answer that anyway.
There was talk yesterday that Melbourne met with Jake Lever. Do you meet with players during a season? Or is
look, I can put a fine point on it. I'm here to talk about the game and our players. I respect your interest in player movement, but that's not my strong suit. There's list manager and CEOs and subcommittees that deal with that, and as a rule, we don't conduct that business at press conferences leading into home and away games. So I'll continue on with that train of thinking, I think.
Shane Kirsten, 3 goals on the weekend. Is that another step for him, or are you just seeing him gradually progress?
Yeah, it was a good step. Yeah, you've got to write your own story in the AFL, and ultimately you write it through action and performance. And he took a step forward, and he's been working hard without the ball. But our ball use was quite strong on the weekend. We passed it in better, which is his strength. But he took a wonderful one-on-one at the top of the square, got one on the lead. So yeah, he's working really hard. But his chase and tackle in the last quarter was fantastic.
Ross, there's been a report this week that Michael Johnson's been given an assurance that he'll be able to play on next year.
Yeah.
Have you been pretty pleased with the way he's sort of bounced back after a pretty slow start to the year?
Yeah, I can't remember whether he started slow or not. I think we all did. I think to single him out would be, but we all need to be harsh at some time, so you can be harsh on him, that's fine. Yeah, he's played quite well. It's really pleasing.
Do you expect he'll go around next season?
Again, I mean, we can pretend we're all in different press conferences, but to conduct list management and give assurances and who we're recruiting, I think it's your job to gather all those pieces on the outside and put them together. But as a senior coach, I'm focused on preparation and improving our footy, and that tends to stand me in good stead, so I think I'll stay on that path.
They got some pretty dangerous tall forwards, the Suns. Do you need to bring in another tall to combat those guys?
And that's a really good point. What you're trying to avoid is modern defence is trying to avoid one-on-ones, so with off-ball support and all those sort of mechanisms. So, no, we'll stick with what we got. We think Griffin Logue to play on Jeremy Cameron and Patton last week and Lob at times with Johnson and Hamlin. We felt like we handled that okay. Lynch is a superstar of the competition. We understand that, and they got some other height with Peter. I forget his last name. Escapes me at the minute.
Right.
Peter Wright. There you go. You'll probably be thinking make me remember it post game. But he's tall. But we've got to get those guys chasing, and we'll back them in. We'll back our pressure around the ball in.
Is that where Griffin Logue sort of stands out? He's not the biggest defender, but he's got the athleticism and ability to work off.
Well, he's reasonable size. He's 194, 97 kegs. Pretty big boy. He's pretty powerful. And you don't want to be too tall. I mean, it's like key forwards. Once you start to get to 200 centimetres, you lose your agility and your power. Most power forwards are 196. So yeah, we're really pleased with his development. He's shown a capacity to learn. His game sense is the area that is developing and needs to develop, and his body, he'll only get quicker and more powerful. And so we're pleased with his development. Although in saying that, he's got plenty to learn.
Hasn't he grown a bit this year, Griffin Logue? It looks like he came out last week and he's pretty tall. It's like I think he's at 190.
Yeah, perception's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So yeah, he may have. I think his hair's a bit more bouffant in it, but yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, and he'll. I mean, for a first year player, he's a really strong athlete. So, but that resilience piece, that coming up week after week. So a full summer would be fantastic for him. We'll work him pretty hard.
And on the early signs, Ross, last year's draft looks to be going well for you. It's only a year in, I know. But
Yeah, it's critical. We have discussed that. Yeah, Brennan Cox, Luke Ryan have played some good football, and Sean Darcy. Look, as we said, there's not a football program in the world that's a panacea for recruiting. So there's some pressure on our recruiting department to get it right, and on the surface, they've got it right. But time will tell. But it's integrated with development. So recruiting departments look at, well, how are you developing them? So they come in and spend weeks here. Our physical program's really strong. Our football program we think's strong, and those guys with talent and that apply themselves seem to have come through over the last 4 or 5 years here. So that's really important. Yeah, but it's an observation. But they've got plenty of work in front of them. Yeah.